Geometry, Unit 1, Lesson 7. I can copy and bisect angles this time. A couple lessons ago, we copied and bisected a segment. So let's get right to it. To copy this, I have to start kind of like how I did the segment. I'll do all the steps first, and then we'll list out the words. So I need to start with a ray. I can call this point D, let's say. It doesn't matter what you call them. And then, after I start with a ray and label the endpoint D, I'm going to go ahead and put the needle of my compass on point A of the original angle, and I want to open up the width just so it's big enough that it's going to intersect both both rays when I make an arc. So don't open it so much that it won't hit. That's not going to help you. So here you go, needle again, open it up enough. I'm going to go ahead, turn the paper, and make an arc. And then when I pick it up, notice I'm going to keep the width. I'm going to put points where the arc intersects the rays. I'll call this B and I'll call this C. I'm going to take the very same width, and whatever I do to one, I always do to the other. So I made this arc here. Now I'm going to do the same arc here. So needle on D, go ahead, turn, make sure you turn it about a good quarter turn. I can put that down now, and you should end up with this. I'm going to go ahead and put this arc and ray intersection. I'm going to call this E. And here's the most important part. You can see that the vertex A is like the vertex D. This point C is like point E. But I don't have a point B equivalent down here. If I knew where it was, I'd shoot the other ray through it. So what I'm going to do is I just wish I knew how far this apart was. And in fact, I can figure that out with my compass. So I'm going to put the needle on C. I'm going to adjust the compass to be on B. I just want to be that far apart down here. But I need to leave some evidence that I measured this. So I'm going to go ahead and make a marking by making an arc. And then I'll pick it up, bring it down here, needle on E, and do the same thing. And where these two arcs intersect, I can call point F, and then that is going to be the point that I'm going to shoot this last ray through, ray DF. And now I've copied this angle. Angle BAC and angle FDE are congruent, and I can say that angle BAC is congruent to angle FDE. So if we try and get these steps down in English, I'm going to try and use as many of these words as I can as possible. So what's my first step? I use a straight edge and I make a ray with endpoint, doesn't matter what you call it, I'm calling it D. With endpoint D. Notice the vocab I'm trying to use, straight edge, ray, endpoint. And then after that, I'm going to use the compass. I'm going to make an arc from point A. And I want to make that arc so it intersects each ray of the angle. And I'm going to label the intersections. Label those intersections. B and C. Again, doesn't matter. And now whatever I do to one, I go down here and I do it to the other. So keeping the compass width, make the same arc from point D, And then I could have put this step up here. It doesn't really matter. Probably should have. I should put this stuff right here. Right here. And then the final part of step 3 is watch how I measured this little bit right here. And that marking is crucial. Took compass, I figured this out, and then I did the same down here and made the mark. So the compass needle on C and pencil on B. Make an arc. Do the same from point E. Label the arc's intersection, point F, which is what we did, and then go ahead and construct for your last step ray DF. And we have it. So let's go ahead and try the other one. So that's copying, right? We're going to make a copy. Whatever you do to one, you do to the other. And now we're going to try bisect. So if I want to do a bisector construction, let's zoom in again and check this one out. I like this one a lot. All I'm going to do is put the needle on A with my compass. Again, open up the compass width just so it's going to make sure it's going to hit both rays. So watch, I'm going to make one arc. And then at these intersection points, with the arc and the rays of the angle, I'm going to keep the same thing. I don't have to change it actually. You can, but it doesn't matter. Put the needle here. This is the second one I'm making. Notice I make it in between the two rays. And now do the exact same thing from this point. We ended up doing, and we've labeled this B and C, and this can be D. And now I can just go ahead, create ray AD, which successfully bisected my angle into BAD and DAC. So angle BAD is congruent to angle DAC. So you can replay that if you need to see it. If we were to write the steps really quickly using as much vocabulary as we can. Let's take a quick look. All right. So the first step in that process, okay, we would put the compass needle on point A and make an arc. And then we label B and C where the arc intersects the rays. After we did this, here was step 1, B and C. And then we made another arc from B, didn't we? So then, step 2, make an arc with the needle on point B inside the rays. Notice I made that arc in here in between the two rays. And then we do the same from point C. Finally, once you have that, we're going to label the intersection of the arcs point D. And then we can go ahead and construct ray AD, which completes the bisecting. And there we have it.